Alright guys, welcome back to another awesome tutorial on object-oriented PHP programming language. So for this tutorial, I'm going to teach you about something which is called a visibility. So whenever you are working with any object-oriented programming language, there gotta be mechanisms that you can hide data types, and as well as you can show your data to other user. So this another OOP concept is called encapsulation. So whenever you work with encapsulation, there is a mechanisms which are embedded with object-oriented programming language, which will allow you to hide or to show your data to the other classes or to share with other classes. So there are three types of encapsulation, or three types of visibilities in object-oriented programming. The first one is going to be protected, the other one is going to be private, and the last one is going to be public. Let's see these things one by one. Let's try to create a simple program that will try to do some functionality regarding some collections here. Let's create a class called collection, and let's provide this thing with two properties, and no, just one property is enough. Let's have an array called array here, which is called an item. Let me remove this part. So let's try to make two methods that will add values to the collection, and that will set a value for that collection. So to do that function is very simple. Let's create public function, and let's call this thing add. So whenever a value that I want to add, I will add this value into this item here. So I will make that particular index of that item to be this value. So this is a functionality for add. So let's try to also create a function that will set a value. And let me make value here, and let me make key also. Let me make the key first, and the value follows. So let me have value here. So I want to set or update that particular value of the item. So I'm going to refer this thing by the key, and I'm going to pass the value here. Okay, so awesome. But we don't make any visibility for this thing. So let's try to make a visibility here. So as I've told you earlier, we were doing with public, right? So let's try to make this thing protected. Look what will happen. And let's try to make another class that will extend this collection here. Okay, so let's create this class, and let's call it C, and let's call it extends collection here. So let's try to access this item here. Can we do that? Let's see it. Let's create a function that's called we call this add, that will call insert. Let's call it insert here, insert, and let's also make this thing public. So let's also provide this item here. So let's refer this item, and let's try to set this thing to 4. Okay, so let's try to access this thing here. So whenever somebody inserts, it will insert this thing here. So let's create a function that will display what we have done so far. So let's create a function called getOld, and let's try to print the values which are added to the item. So it's going to be this item. Whenever you are working with this thing, don't forget this here. So let's make this thing this item, and let's also make this item key. Okay, so with that being said, let's try to require my two files here. So I'm going to require ama.php, and I'm going to have a require also called doc.php. Okay, so with that being said, let's try to create an object of the doc, and let's try to access this item here. Can we do that? Let's say it. So let's create doc here, and it's going to be a new doc, and let's try to access the function that we have created, which is going to be insert, and let's try to print the all values, and let's print by calling the function getOld. So let's see what we have on the browser. Sorry, it says class doc is not found. Yeah, instead of class, make this thing C. Okay, this is how I named the class here. So instead of the doc, make this thing C. So probably we will be good to go. So let's reload this page. it says array 0. Array, the first index is going to be 4. So it means we are able to access this thing here. But think of a scenario, I want to make this thing private. So can we do that? Let's see it. So let me try to reload this thing. It is not accessing this thing. Okay, it means if it is private, only this class can access this element here. Anything that extends this thing cannot able to access. That is the main difference between private and protected. So what about public? So whenever you are having a public visibility, it means you can access your like variable or any data anywhere. So if I make this thing to public, I can access this thing by creating an object in this class, any class that I have extend is also possible. Okay, so that is the main difference between using a public, protected, and private. So to recap one more time, public can be found or can be accessed at any place, at any class. Whenever you are having a protected, it can be accessed whenever there is a class that extends that class. Private can be accessed only by the class itself. So this is a little bit introduction about visibilities in object-oriented programming language. So till we meet on the next tutorial, keep on liking, keep on subscribing, keep on sharing my videos with your friend. Peace and love. Ciao.